But Oscar Allen certainly is the name on everyone's lips this morning. Lachy, appreciate your time.
Thanks, Timmy. Thank you.
Yeah, look, big day yesterday. I know you're across this story all day, and it's been confirmed that they did meet. The fallout's going to be huge. Mark Duffield's got Don Pike on his show at 8:15, and I have a sneaking suspicion that is going to be the first cab off the rank. Will be Oscar Allen and this meeting. Mate, it was a big day for you yesterday.
Yeah, I know, and I spoke to you a fair bit during the day as well, Timmy, so I know you knew a fair bit about it, but no, it was a big day, and it's a big story only because Oscar Allen is the captain of the footy club, or co-captain with Liam Duggan of the West Coast Eagles, meeting with an opposing coach. I personally don't have a major issue with it, to be honest. You've got it's a normal person that in a workplace, sometimes you meet with an opposing boss or another company that might be keen on you, and you've got to find out exactly whether that is for you. So, yes, meeting took place. Sam Mitchell flying into town. He pretty much wasn't even in Perth for 24 hours. It was less than 24 hours he was in town. Had the meeting and then went back. Obviously, Hawthorn on the bye at the moment. He got back to Melbourne to get ready for, getting the boys back on the track. So, intriguing over the next few days. Just the reaction of players, the reaction of the coach, the reaction of the boss, as you said. Be enthralling to see what Don Pike says very soon.
Going to be a very interesting day at West Coast Eagles today when he rolls up, because this story's not going to go away. Now, we all have an opinion on this. You're comfortable with it. I think it's the way forward. I think as Adam Simpson has said in this studio, he and the club would have met with 50 players over his time and getting players. So that's not new. But I think when a club is on its knees, you're the captain. You're not getting the kick. You don't look fit. And you're meeting with a guy who has already taken one of the best players, Tom Barrass. I reckon it all adds up to a pretty ordinary look.
Yeah, the timing's not good, is it? I mean, they were average on the weekend. Oscar didn't have a great game at all and has a really great start to the season. Then you're meeting an opposing coach. I think if he had his time again, then he would be thinking, okay, let's just put this meeting off for another week or two or even another month, because I need to try and get this footy club back on track. My responsibility as captain. As I said, I'm not, it happens. Don't think that we're sitting here that players and clubs and everything aren't meeting all during the year. Trading and free agency is a year, 18 months in advance. Clubs are looking at certain players and players are looking at certain clubs as to whether they're going to move. So it happens. We know Tommy Barrass did exactly the same thing with Tom Mitchell. We knew that Dan Rioli flew from Perth to Gold Coast to talk to him early in the season last year. So it happens. It's just probably, as you said, Tim, not great timing.
Doesn't happen to the captain. Well, as simple as that. And if I'm a player, whether I'm a senior player or a younger player at the football club today, I'm filthy on Oscar Allen.
Yeah. Do you go up to him then, Scotty?
Absolutely.
Do you approach it with him?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I would say things that aren't fit for air right now. If I'm the coach, I'm filthy. If you've got a new coach in there who's trying to bring people on their new chapter, new game plan, new rules, new methods, and your captain's not buying into it, I'm absolutely filthy. And as a player, I'll be sitting there going, well, why would I listen to you? It doesn't look like you'll be here next year. Put the form aside, right? Put his form aside. He obviously wants to play well. I don't think he's anywhere near 100% fit, because Oscar Allen's a better player than what he's been showing this year. I think he's injured. If he's not, then he's just in horrible form and he's checked out. But as a player, I would be livid and be saying, well, mate, you have no say around here anymore. As our captain, you have no say, and that's just where you're going as a football club if that's the case.
So you actually think he should be stripped of the captaincy if that's the case?
Well, you know what? You're not going to strip someone of the captaincy now in round 4 or 5 or anything. And no one's going to be stripped of the captaincy unless they have a massive off-field misdemeanour with legal ramifications to it. That just doesn't happen. But I would suggest that his clout around the club and his players hanging on his every word, I think that's out the window.
Yeah, I'm just intrigued. I mean, as I said, I think in all workplaces, I've never had one, so I must be very good at my job. But I think a lot of people have been approached by other companies, whether it be in the same sort of field or in different types of fields, you've got to have a look at it. You've got to actually go and have a chat to them to find out exactly if that's for you. And, he may have walked away from that meeting saying, nah, I'm going to stay at West Coast. I'm going to stick with them. Or he may be now stressing, thinking, damn, that's a pretty good option out there for me, Hawthorn. I mean, why wouldn't he? And I actually think West Coast should consider what they could get in return. He's a restricted free agent. They could get a really good draft pick out of this and move forward with some young players. He's 26 years of age, moving on to 27. By the time they're in premiership contention, he'll be 30 plus. Maybe this is a good thing for both West Coast and Oscar Allen.
I don't think you can compare being headhunted in the workplace to football. Football's not the real world. It's a different situation. And I just think, no doubt about it, that the Eagles would be saying now, what can we get for him? But it just doesn't need to happen now. It doesn't need to happen in round 4. Oscar Allen could have said, let's chat. I've got a manager for a reason. You don't need to fly here to Perth where everyone knows who's talking to who. We don't need to make a scene of this because it will absolutely dilute my standing at the football club. It doesn't need to happen. And as I said, this goes back to his coach and his teammates looking at him and saying, well, you are not invested here. Why the hell would we listen to you? Why?
It is a big story. Yeah. It is a big story. And the more you guys have waxed lyrical about it, I've just sat back, and it's very rare for me, but I've really enjoyed your view and also Lachy's opinion there coming from different sides. From an outsider looking in, again, I want to preface all my remarks by saying he is of an upstanding young man, and he was very proud to be the captain of that football club.
No doubt you would.
This is not a good moment for him or the club right now. So now he has to either take affirmative action. He has to make the decision very soon whether he wants to commit to the football club, because there's an offer, I'm led to believe, on the table. He wants longevity in a deal. It will be either Hawthorn or Brisbane, as Tom Morris said. It's not going to be Collingwood or Melbourne, who have put their oars in the water as well. This could derail, as they're already off the rails, but this could completely implode on West Coast.
We question their leadership as it is. And
this could be the first player, Scotty and Goss, that maybe makes the decision before the end of the season. And we've been waiting for that, haven't we? Because we know that a lot of players do make decisions in probably not April of a year, but we know that a lot of players have made, and they sit there and they go, oh, no, I love the footy club, I'm staying, I plan to stay. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the year, they say, I'm off, sorry, got a better deal, I want to move on to bigger and better things. And when it happens in rugby league, so maybe this could be one of the first where he decides, I'm going to make the announcement, I'm committed to West Coast for the rest of the year, and you'll have to deal with it that way. Or it forces his hand and goes, I'm a little embarrassed by what happens now, so I'm going to sign up. I was always going to stay, but this has pushed me now to sign up and commit to West Coast. It'll be intriguing the next week or two.
Yeah, correct. We weren't at the meeting. We don't know what his reaction is. We don't know what he's thinking. We might just want to keep our powder dry on that. But the optics of it are not good for Oscar. They're just not.
Yeah, and you summed it up. He is a great bloke, Oscar, and he's a proud West Aussie, and he does love the West Coast Eagles. I know him, I grew up watching him play because he played against my boy, and just such a ripping fella. So maybe just, wasn't his finest moment in terms of doing it, but Sam Mitchell is aggressive. He wants to win a premiership, and he's going all out. He's going to get whatever player he wants, or try to get whatever player he wants, and that's how he approaches his coaching.
Right, really quickly, just in Harley Reid, he was at his partner's 21st after the Derby. So was there a meeting with Mitchell and him, or was that sort of not quite right?
I didn't really find that out, whether there was actually a meeting or not. It was just a little interesting and ironic that his management were in town, but they could have well and truly been in town. It's been a tough 2 weeks for him, so just to be around him and support him in what's been, a tough couple of weeks for him. So, no, I haven't had that confirmed as yet as to whether he had any meeting, but certainly Oscar.
The text line is going gangbusters. I don't think we've had a topic like it, Scotty, to be honest.
No, it's rolled a lot of people, hasn't it? And when your footy club's on its knees, where they are on their knees. They have been for a little while now. You need solidarity and you need leadership, and your captain's giving you none at the moment. Just handled really poorly. We know people talk to other clubs. We understand that. It just doesn't need to be a coach flying over for 4 hours, or 6 hours, 7 hours, however long he was here, to meet you face to face. He knows Sam Mitchell. He's been around Sam Mitchell before. You've got management that do those sorts of things for you. Every player understands that you will be approached by somebody at some stage, but at least show your teammates that you are 100% invested in them as their captain and do it the right way. It doesn't have to be as public and as embarrassing as this.
All right, I'm going to pull out a snapshot of a lot of the texts that you've called. We won't be texted in on 0487 736 736. The text line has blown up this morning. Hi, gents. Oscar is within his rights to explore opportunities, but as the captain of our footy club, what's wrong with taking a phone call or doing it over Zoom as opposed to face-to-face? Poor leadership, disappointed member, Cam from Dianella.
Cam's bang on.
Mike from Pally. Morning, boys. Prediction that Allen and Reid will end up at Hawthorn, and wouldn't surprise me if Liam Ryan conversation comes up again, says Mike. This is from 764. Always put your name on the end. It would be great as well. How did things get so bad at the Eagles? We're just a carcass getting feasted on tip rat style at present. Scotty can answer. No, we'll go to that one a bit later. I'm 100% with you, Scotty. Disappointed with Oscar as a member. I've lost respect for him at all levels. Rhonda, according to Tom Morris this morning, Mitchell didn't meet with Harley, only met with Oscar. Yes, we've had that confirmed. Brad said even if it did come out and commit to the club after what Tom Barras did last season, we wouldn't believe him anyway.
Contract signing will make you believe it.
Tomo from Bunbury says, also got to remember what Hawthorn did to West Coast at the draft last year. Relations are strained. Totally agree with Scotty, says Rhonda again. Oscar wanted to be our captain. He's letting us down. He's our captain. Give him the bird. Lachy Reid, a bit of a whack for him. The laughingstock of the AFL. Harley Reid's form's dropped off since he went to the wedding and sat next to Sam Mitchell. Duggo to be captain now. Oscar's lost credibility. Cumo's bang on, 100%, says Steve. Feel like a punch in the guts. So that is the tone of the text this morning, 0487 736 736. Evan says, can't a WebEx meeting or a phone call do that? Now, the flip of all of this is Sam Mitchell will say that he and his wife Lyndall were coming to Perth to do other business because that's what we do. Well, that's a nice diversion, but you don't meet if that's not what you're here for.
Sure.
Then don't meet the West Coast Eagles captain. But again, Sam is aggressive. He's super aggressive,
and the difference is he makes no secret of it.
Yep.
which is fine. No worries at all.
Yep.
Clubs will remember it, and I think clubs will be reluctant to, I guess, play nicely with Hawthorn going forward, but Sam is he's aggressive. And you know what? If you're a Hawthorn member or supporter, you'd be going, you beauty. Go get him, coach. Go nuts. But this is not about Sam Mitchell for me. It's about Oscar Allen.
Do you think that, as Lachy mentioned, and I've said this before, do you think we will get to a stage, and are we getting closer to a stage, where a player will announce mid-season that they are leaving to join another club?
I hate it. Possibly, and you know what?
Tom Barras looked silly, didn't he?
Yeah, but he made himself look silly, and
But he got what he wanted,
he got what he wanted. But
Elliot Yeo said to me,
lied through his back teeth.
Elliot Yeo said on Friday, it is a business, and you've basically got to look after yourself. That is the nature of the beast of football. In the old days, you played for the team, the club, the jumper, the fans, the members. You got back there. Now they just rock up, do 20 hours, play footy and go and make sure they can get the best deal. And this is not just blaming Oscar Allen. This is every player in the competition.
Yeah, I know.
This is what managers do.
I think this one's heightened because he's the captain of the football club. He's the captain of a great football club that's in a really bad spot right now. That's in a horrible spot, and it's testing their members. It's no doubt testing the hierarchy, but that's your captain of your football club, Goss. And there's better ways he could have handled this. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And as I said to you before, if I'm one of his teammates, I'm walking in this morning and I am asking.
But they're not going to, Scott.
I am swearing.
They're not going to.
Well,
no, tell me a player, give me a player at West Coast that will walk in and confront the captain about meeting with Sam Mitchell after a derby loss, before a derby loss, out of form, not quite fit, thinking about his future, and met him face to face. Tell me a West Coast Eagles player who will confront Oscar Allen. There is not one there.
Gov?
There might be one there.
I can see a Brady Hoff who busts his backside every
I
weekend.
agree, but he won't do it. They don't want to rock the boat, mate. What happens if Oscar turns around and says, "Boys, I'm not going anywhere"? I told Sam Mitchell
Then
that.
no worries.
What happens if Oscar Allen said to Sam Mitchell, "Mate, thanks, but no thanks"? And in 2 days' time, he announces he's staying. Anyway, what about this?
No need to meet him then. Because you reckon that he would have decided in that face-to-face meeting there and then that he goes, "Oh, you know what? I haven't heard what I wanted to hear," and
well, face-to-face meetings. So this is where
I'm all for face-to-face.
We hide behind text,
not in this instance.
Email. You know, we hide behind, and this is the world we live in, where we actually don't confront people face-to-face. We don't pick up the phone. I've fallen for it. Real estate's different. You do actually see face-to-face, and you do speak to them on the phone. Texting someone doesn't work for you. But in this situation, you just never know with Oscar. I mean, look.
Well, listen.
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced he's definitely leaving. But
then there's absolutely no need to have done this. Then there's no need to have put the doubt into your teammates' minds.
West Coast Eagles players love Sam Mitchell, mate, like he's the Messiah. They love him.
Okay.
Love him.
Terrific.
They do. I think he was the greatest thing since sliced bread when he came to the football club. One as a player, and then his coaching and how significant he was in 2018.
No worries.
Now he's coaching an own team, and they probably think life after West Coast.
Yeah, well, the grass is greener. Is what the
Well, it is. It is at the moment.
Yeah, no doubt
it's a lot greener at Hawthorn than it is at West Coast.
But at the end of the day, you got to go to battle with these guys every weekend, and at the moment they're losing the battle, and the battle is tough. And when your leader, when your captain is entertaining the idea and publicly entertaining the idea and having public meetings, well, not public, obviously did it in private, but known meetings with an opposition coach, why the hell would you follow him into battle? If he says to you out in the field, and a couple of times on Sunday you could see him pointing fingers, and when he was getting towed up down back, and again, as I said, I'm putting form aside because I don't think he's fit. He's a better player than he has been, that he's delivered this year. Why the hell would you listen to him?
Texts are coming in. Look, I'm trying to get through as many as I can. I want to give our listeners the opportunity of having their opinion. Plugger says, I reckon Baker and Graham would be dirty on Oscar. You would assume he would have been involved in the pitch for both players to come across. Yeah, but Hardwick left them too, remember? They recruited Prestia and Taranto and Hopper, and it wasn't long after that he deserted the ship. Not so much Prestia, the other two. If your players want to be a business, then drop Allen. He's out of form, and if sentiment doesn't matter, do a business transaction and drop him, says Evan.
But the thing is with all this, though, if the Eagles react, that it makes their actual situation worse as well. Like, if they drop him, then, man, we're talking about it all day, every day, aren't we? About what's going on, why they drop him, not just because of form. Is there more to it? If they strip him of the captaincy, it becomes a bigger story than it already is now, and that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, but you're ripping the Band-Aid off if you do that. If Oscar Allen can't commit to the football club, and you know what, the onus goes back onto West Coast too. Got to give him some. He's in a position where this is going to be the last contract. He has been. Last year wasn't a good year. He was pretty good before that. He had 50-odd goals a year before and was their star. And he's much sought after. Everyone, you talk to the East Coast, knowledgeable East Coast recruiters and experts, they love Oscar Allen. Yes, he's had a down couple of weeks.
Oh, when he's fit, he's an exceptional player.
Correct. So he's much sought after. He's got to look after himself at the same time.
I understand that.
But the optics of it, I agree. We go back over it. It's not good.
You also have a responsibility as your captain
All righty.
to lead.
Scotty, I'm going to go through these now. We will just read them because we can. Chris says, spot on, Scotty. The club's at the lowest point. Fans and members raging, and then this news comes out, taking us for a laugh.
But it's not even. It's also the bit that the supporters are. They're upset. There's no doubt about it. And I think you have every right to be upset. I'm not sure they're raging. They're being. West Coast supporters have been.
This is rage today, Scotty.
Yeah, but they're raging about this. But as a whole, they've been very supportive.
Yeah, 50-odd thousand at the footy on the weekend.
They keep turning up. They
do.
They have bigger crowds than the Dockers week in, week out at the footy. So they keep turning up. And I think this is just a big slap in the face to them.
Alrighty, Fred says, morning gents, thanks for putting on a great show, thank you. They simply have to take the captaincy away. Leaders are the nucleus of driving an organisation's mission. The whole club, supporters, members, board and playing group entrust them with that responsibility. This is reprehensible.
How do you get back from being in the doldrums, Goss? Good people at the helm with strong leadership, and then people follow you and they back you in and they all come along for the ride. That's how organisations, whether it's business, whether it's sport, they get back from being on the bottom of the ladder or being the whipping boys with strong people, steering the ship, and everyone comes along with them. You do not get back from misery this way with poor leadership.
Eagles should only commit to getting the best draft hand. So if Harley and Oscar want out, only speak to the clubs that are part of that favourable hand. Players have left clubs before best to have those willing to show the commitment. It's business. Captaincy should be reviewed, voted by the players. Push for Liam Baker. There's a text there. Oscar Allen is a restricted free agent. This means that West Coast can match any offer. Yes, we're aware of that. I'm not so anti him leaving.
I'm sure you'd want to match,
but it's what's happened in the last 24 hours.
Yeah,
that's the issue. Him leaving
that's
could happen.
Yeah,
may happen, might not happen.
And I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem with that. Just talking about being a leader right now when they desperately need a leader.
Ange is very strong. Ange has dug a little bit deeper on this, going a little bit to to Lyndall Mitchell. So she's a significant player in this. I think she is a significant player. And I think that the partners, wives and Lorna, who is Oscar's fiancée, that is important. That is important. Tom Barras was courted, and so was Josh Battle, because of very good work by Lyndall Mitchell, Sam's wife, to make sure that they feel comfortable in the environment.
Good on Lyndall for having that. Obviously, the personality and the respect maybe to be able to convince people and to have that sort of power. It's a great weapon that Sam has by his side. This is a big story. We're shuffling the decks a little bit, but we might have to move the Ox till tomorrow, I think. I think we might do that or Thursday, depending on his golf. Let's go to Rhonda from Baldivis. She's had her opinion on the text, but she's always kind enough to give us a call. Hope you're feeling a little bit better today, Rhonda, but this news of Oscar Allen, I've got a feeling you might be a little bit riled by it.
Well, I was hoping it was an April Fool's Day hoax, but obviously not. I'm totally listening to Scotty, and Scotty, you're saying exactly every single thing that I'm feeling as a member and as someone who stumps up to the game all the time, all the last few years. And I think people know that West Coast members and fans have been really loyal to the club. And as someone, the thing is that Oscar put his hand up at the start of the year and he said to the playing group, I'm your captain, I'm going to pull you through this, we're here for the long term, get on my back, And how can he remain integrous in that when he's openly meeting with other clubs? How can they take notice of him? So everything that Scotty said, so I won't repeat it all because Scotty said it beautifully. But my thing is, he needs to be seen to be leading the club. If he can't be seen to be leading the club, then, the good thing is that we've got two co-captains, and I'm not saying sack him. I'm just saying maybe until he makes the decision to recommit to us, West Coast needs to, behind the scenes, say to him, you don't have any captain duties anymore. In public, they don't need to say that, but we just want to see Duggan doing all the captain duties, every single captain duty, until Oscar gets up and recommits to the club. And if he doesn't recommit to the club, then he will still be our captain at the end of the year, in name only, because Duggan would be the captain of the club. Because I don't think the players can really respect someone or follow someone, and definitely fans can't, if we know that they've got an eye somewhere else, that they're not committed like we are.
0487736736. No, good on you, Rhonda. Appreciate it. Nice work by you. Cash is king. Loyalty's gone. It's business, unfortunately. Oscar Allen, was he part of the team who pitched to Chad Warner last week? This has been poorly handled by Oscar. I get why he did it, but time and a place isn't right. With the club already hurting, it just adds more pain. It's another interesting point that's made. You're trying to recruit Chad Warner or
even if I know because he picked
It is unsettling. Yeah, it is unsettling.
And if he's sitting there going, "Oh, boys, yeah, come on over, it'd be fantastic," and they're going, "Well, what are you doing? Are you re-signing? Are you with it?" Not he's made a fair point. I'm not sure if you've read this out, but maybe Oscar wanted to do the right thing by speaking face to face to Sam to let him know he's not interested in moving. Maybe Oscar has already told his teammates of the conversation with Sam. Maybe
that's what I'm alluding to as well.
It just had to be handled so much better than that.
Let's talk West Coast Eagles, but let's change it up a little bit. Jamie Cripps has been one of their consistent players this year and kicked a couple of nice goals. You were pretty happy with his goal kicking on the weekend?
Well, I'll talk about that in a second with him, I'll tell you right.
Cripper, appreciate your time. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You're driving to the club. It's going to be an interesting place. I've got a feeling it's going to be under the spotlight today a little bit on the back of the news that Sam Mitchell, someone you know very well, met with Oscar Allen over the weekend, and it's got out, and the football media is abuzz today. What's your thoughts on one of your captains meeting a rival coach mid-season?
Hopefully I haven't really thought too much about it, mate, but I think, everyone needs to, look at what's going to be best for them in the future. Obviously, probably not great timing for the big fella, but, I think you got to keep having them conversations to work out what's best for the individual.
Cripper, that's your captain, mate. That's your skipper, and the club's not in a good spot. He's not playing well, and everyone's saying you got a new coach who needs everyone to buy in and go with him, and your skipper is saying, well, don't so much follow me because I'm not sure what I'm doing. Doesn't that piss you off?
It's not really, mate. It's more that Oscar is still giving his heart and soul to the club. It's not like he's taking the foot off just because his form's a little bit off at the moment. He's still given everything he can throughout the week. He's still talking up in meetings. The boys still want to listen and follow him because we know the type of player and person he is. I think, it's just how it's all panned out. I'm not sure what the contract situation is with him, what West Coast have offered him and what Hawks are offering or whatever it is. I think you just got to, you got to have them conversations. It's a different industry now, and I think, players have got to have them conversations probably when they don't really want to.
Yeah, true. And it's also, and as I have tried to say, it's well answered. And as I have said also this morning, being captain's a difficult situation for him to be in. I mean, if they were 3-0, no one would even be, we wouldn't even almost care. But there's 0-3.
Absolutely.